Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inna alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa man wala wa ba'd. My brothers and sisters, we are on day 2 of the session on Salah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cause this to be a means of benefit for us all, because Salah is not just something which is important, but it is the most important thing in our lives. I explained to you in detail yesterday with all the proofs for saying this, and so I will not repeat that today, but just very briefly, we need air, we need food, we need money, we need a home, and so on and so forth. All of that is restricted to the life of this world. Some of it are not even things that will last us the entire duration of this life. We don't need them for the whole duration of our life. Some are earlier, some are later. But Salah is something that we need for the life of the hereafter, which is forever, and we need it for success in this life for the entire duration of this life. A person who does not have Salah, meaning a person who does not have Iman, does not have access to the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life, and will have no access to Jannah in the next life. And obviously, there is no comparison in terms of importance between Salah and anything else. When I say things like, we need Salah, I'm not saying this is a nice thing to have and it's a perk in your life. No, I'm saying we need it. And we need it at a level of force that I simply cannot possibly emphasize enough. When I say that, it might seem like strange, because we are not used to using Salah in this life to solve our problems. मौलाना सईद अहमद खान साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह used to say कि जिस नमाज से तुमको 2 रोटी नहीं मिल सकती, वो नमाज तुम्हें पुलसिरात पे कैसे ले जाएगी. He used to say that this Salah in this life, the quality of our Salah, he says this Salah in this life, which can't seem to get you 2 pieces of bread, how is this Salah going to help you when you have to cross the Sirat? So it is essential for us to learn how to pray properly and then to pray properly. These 2 things are absolutely critical. But then if you see and ask yourself, how much time do you spend in learning how to pray? And not because this is some, great body of knowledge that you have to pass. First of all, you have to pass a tough exam in order to enter a university, and then you have to be in the university for 25 years before you can learn. Nothing. All you need to do is to go to somebody who knows, and there are a dime a dozen. They are not even a dime a dozen because they are free. Go to somebody and say, please teach me how to pray. That's it. But we don't do that. Even if somebody is willing to teach, you don't want to come. What to do? Like we saw yesterday, I asked people, how many of you know the faraid of ghusl? And deliberately, I have no desire to humiliate anybody, so I don't tell people, show of hands or anything. But I know what will happen. You will either lie or you will show up your hand, and then others look like they don't know. That's not my intention anyway. And then I said, how long will it take? I said, take a stopwatch and I will teach you. It took all of 15 seconds, 15, to learn the faraid of ghusl. And that's only because I was trying to talk a little slowly so you understand. But that 15 seconds you do not have for yourself. I mean, seriously, we need to ask ourselves this question. I'm not asking for anything. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I need nothing, we take nothing. For yourself. And what is the cost of that? The cost of that is you are living your entire life in a state of impurity, of najasat. What sense does it make? You don't have 15 seconds to spare for yourself to live in a state of purity where your ibadat are accepted, your dua is accepted, you are protected from all kinds of influences and so on and so forth. There is barakah in your house. You don't have 15 seconds to spare for yourself to get that. I mean, how tragic is that? Tell me. And just to rub that in, how much time do you spend in doing stuff? I'm not even talking about the stuff time you spend doing stuff which is clearly wrong. Let's not worry about that. But even stuff which is not wrong, but which is a waste of time. How much time do we spend? Including all my nephews and friends here who are, sort of greatly interested in football. Which is fine, alhamdulillah. But if you are playing the game, but if you are spending your time watching the game on a TV screen, then at best, at absolutely number one top best, that is a waste of time. It is something that you will, hopefully you won't get punished for it, but definitely it's something that you will regret very, very badly when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at worst, if it ends up making you miss Salah, it ends up making you in a state of ghaflat, then you are asking for punishment for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go play the game. Very, very good thing to do. Absolutely, I recommend football to everyone and his wife. Go play the game, go onto the field, fall down, scrape your knees, learn teamwork, learn leadership, learn sharing, learn passing, right? Good for your health, everything else. But sitting in front of the television, all you are doing is turning into a potato and you're watching that thing and what? And this is the benign part of it. I mean, I'm not even talking about other stuff and so on and so forth. So we spend hours and hours and hours. Just do a rough calculation. I mean, you know how much time you spend. Just do a rough calculation for yourself. It might have a salutary effect, one hopes. Do a rough calculation for yourself and say, how many hours did I spend doing things which are neutral, value neutral. There's no benefit in it, there's no harm in it, but it is useless. If it's value neutral, it's useless. Rasulullah said, if one day is not better than the next day, then you are wasting your time. He said, for a Muslim, each day must be better than the previous day. These are the standards set by the Prophet ﷺ. I am saying, I won't say leave them, because those are the standards we are supposed to follow. But I am saying just as a taste for that, just ask yourself and say that I am spending so many hours doing something which is at best useless. And then when there is an opportunity to learn something which is clearly, absolutely critical to learn, which is something which is going to benefit you in this life and the next life, inshallah al-musta'an, you don't have an hour, you don't have 2 hours. Even when the thing is being given to you for free. Your football doesn't come for you. You're paying Netflix, you're paying the cable guy, you're paying the electricity guy, God knows who you're paying. You're paying all that and getting uselessness. Really, we have to ask ourselves this question. All of what I'm saying is not for the people who are here because you're here. This is for those who will see this video and they think they have done a great job because we are now watching the video. I will guarantee you, there are, I think, probably over 1,000 hours of my lectures on the net. Probably that much, maybe more. And if you look at the YouTube and Google statistics, there are thousands of people viewing them. But you know and I know that viewing them means what? What does Google count? If someone clicks on it, it counts it as one. Whether the fellow spent 10 seconds on it or he watched the whole lecture, we don't know. And I can guarantee you, they are not watching them. Because I know how much patience I have to sit and watch something for an hour and a half. I never do. I have never. I like to read, so I read. I don't watch lectures. Read, I can read for hours and hours, but watching lectures is not my thing. So when there is an opportunity, make use of the opportunity. So yesterday we covered a whole bunch of stuff, all leading to the perfection of Salah. We looked at all the issues of Tahara, we looked at all the wudu, ghusl and so on and so forth. We looked at the issue of the importance of Salah itself, why it's important. All of that we covered yesterday. Today, we will continue with that, and then we look at Salah itself. We will look at Salah by Jama'ah. We look at issues of imamat, of leading Salah, and so on and so forth, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this a means of khair and barakat for us all, inshallah. Now, yesterday we mentioned this in passing, which is the issue of Sutra, which is to keep a barrier in front of you so that somebody does not cross in front of you while you are praying. Now, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu narrated from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said, when one prays, you should let him pray towards the sutra, let him face or put a barrier in front of himself, and let him pray close to it, meaning that this barrier must be at the point where you make sujood. So if you're praying here, if you're standing here, don't put the barrier far away. Put it at the place where you are making sujood, and so that somebody doesn't pass in front of you. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, use a sutra even if it is an arrow. So even if it's a small thing, doesn't matter, but use it, put it there. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has prayed. There are narrations to say that he prayed facing with a camel saddle. He made his camel sit down and he prayed in, this is when he's praying outside. And at home when he was praying tahajjud, he had Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha. She was sleeping, so he would pray. She would turn over on the other side and he would pray with her in front like that as the sutra. And of course, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam once removed his turban and put his turban there as the sutra. This way, I mean, anything, whatever is convenient for you, you can do that. But do place a sutra. Now, and this applies to all salah. So it's when you are traveling, when you are at home, wherever. This applies to all salawat which are done individually, or where you are not following the imam. Where you are following the imam must have his own sutra. And usually, obviously, the imam is in the front, so he has the wall of the masjid where he is praying. Or if it's an imam, if you are doing imamat, if you are making jama'ah outside somewhere, then make sure that the imam has something in front of him. And then the imam's sutra is enough for the whole jama'ah. So sometimes you might find, for example, that in a masjid, sometimes we find this in Taraweeh and so on. In the Haram, you see it all the time, but in our masjid here, the whole masjid is packed. And then you will find that maybe somebody lost their wudu or something happened to them, and then they will leave and they will walk in front of this whole stuff is standing here. The person walks in front and goes out. And a lot of people have sometimes there are a lot of issues, confusion, somebody tries to stop him. Don't do all that. There's no problem. Your salah is perfectly valid, absolutely no problem. The Imam's sutra is your sutra. This person can walk in front of you, no problem at all. So if you do happen to break your wudu or whatever the reason might be, if you need to go, please go ahead. Just step out in front and walk out, there's no problem. But this applies only to salah by jama'ah. So in Jummah, while the Jummah Salah is going on, this is possible. But once the Jummah Salah is over, when people are standing and praying Sunnah or Nafil or whatever it is, then each person must have his own sutra and you must pass beyond that sutra, not in between. That's why in this masjid you would have noticed, I always tell people, this last row there, the chairs, move all the chairs forward so people can pass behind you. Now this consideration, we'll look at that in a minute, but this consideration for others, especially when you are in the masjid, is a very critical part of Islamic manners. Right? We'll come to that inshallah, but do keep that also in mind. So this is the issue of the sutra, always do that. And like I said yesterday, there's no need for you to drag chairs here and there and people literally sort of walk around with chairs, there's no need for all that, just put anything in front. That is more than enough. A very, very, very important thing. There is a lecture of mine called, what is it called? Earn and Eat Halal. Yeah, there is a lecture of mine which Azhar will send you with this thing called Earn and Eat Halal, which we did here in this masjid, I think one of the Ramadan. Eating and earning halal is absolutely critically important for the acceptance of your salah and acceptance of dua. It affects the quality of worship. It makes it good or it makes it bad depending on whether you are eating and earning halal. What is the safe thing to do? whatever is doubtful, leave it. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, leave the doubtful for that which is not doubtful. So anything that is doubtful, whether it is in earnings or whether it's in food, anything that you have a doubt in, clarify the doubt. Until you clarify the doubt, don't eat it. And once you clarify the doubt, of course, you know what the situation is. But when you are doubtful, usual problems as far as our food is concerned is with chickens. Because we eat factory processed chickens, which please understand, I've said this a million times, factory processed chicken is not halal. Unless you have specific information about that particular factory, that it is being hand slaughtered. Unless you have that information, do not go by the halal seal. The halal seal means nothing. So even if it comes with a halal stamp, it is not halal. Don't fool yourself and say, well, after all the stamp is there, what can I do? No, it is your body. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if a haram morsel goes into the body and becomes part of the body, the fire of Jahannam is wajib on this body. So save yourself. The second issue is aerated drinks, Coke and Pepsi and stuff, which is clearly, my point about Coke and Pepsi is very, I don't say that it has alcohol, this, that. My point is, it has ingredients which are not on the label, right? They have a secret formula. They say so. And imagine, this is the hypocrisy of our world today, where anything that you manufacture, any food item that you manufacture, by law, you are supposed to put the ingredients on the label. Yes or no? So why is that not applied to Coke and Pepsi? They get away by saying, we have a secret ingredient. What secret ingredient? How can it be secret when your law says that it cannot be secret, that all the ingredients must show on the label? This is the law of the land. How come you allow major, huge corporations to get away with this nonsense to say we have a secret ingredient? So my point is, okay, if that secret ingredient is the water of Zamzam, I don't care because you didn't tell me that. So as far as I am concerned as a Muslim, there is something in this drink which I don't know. Now tell me, is that halal or haram for you? You don't need to be a mufti for this. Right? If I give you this glass of water and I say, well, please drink it, but there is something in it which I won't tell you. There is a secret ingredient. You might still drink it because you know me personally, but I'm saying, supposing I'm a stranger, I'm not even Muslim. As a Muslim, if you have a modicum of Iman, if you have 1 grain of Iman in your heart, what will you do? Should you drink it or should you not drink it? It's very simple. You don't need one great mufti and this and that and chemical analysis reports. Simple question. As a Muslim, if you are given something to eat or drink and you do not know what it contains, what will you do? Leave it, obviously. Okay, let me give you a Beimani example. Supposing you are allergic to something. Right? And some people are very violently allergic to things. I mean, literally it can be a matter of life and death if there is an allergen in that thing. And I give you something to drink and I say, I'm not sure whether the thing that you are allergic to is in this or not. I'm not saying it is there, I'm not saying it is not there. Will you drink it? Let me give you one more example. We go to a restaurant, right? One waiter there tells you, say everybody knows you in this restaurant. So one waiter there tells you that this thing which you are being given to drink, maybe it might have the thing that you are allergic to, it might be there, I'm not sure, but it might be there. So one waiter tells you. Now everybody else in the restaurant, including the owner, the chef and all the waiters, they say, nahi saab, kuch bhi nahi, no, nothing, absolutely no problem, you can drink it. Will you still drink it or not? Tell me. You will hesitate like hell. You will say, what if this one guy is right? Now I can tell you, everybody does know. They also don't know. They are saying it is not there, but do they know perfectly? They don't know. Bottom line is what? At the end of the whole thing, if there is a problem, who is going to face it? Not that waiter, not the chef, not the restaurant owner, not the government, not the Prime Minister, it's me. I am the one who is going to do the dying if the thing has got that allergen in it. I'm sorry, I am not taking that chance. I'm not dying of thirst. I have got 10 different alternatives. I don't have to drink this particular thing. You're not talking about a life-saving drug, which if I don't have that, I will die or something. Nothing. Instead of this, I can drink 10 different things. No problem. Why must I take that chance? Anyone with any intelligence will do that. So I've given you a Islamic example and a non-Islamic example. Take what you want. Bilkul. This is the whole issue of it. What Hyderabad is saying is the Iman on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khalas, nothing else. Do I really, am I going to eat or drink something which will spoil my ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Very simple.